What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty from Ty Drives, and sitting in front of us is the 2025 Chevrolet Trailblazer. And this one's in the RS trim, fully loaded up with every package and option you could imagine. So we have a very nice one to take a look at today. And this is painted in the all-new Marina Blue paint color. Looks very good with all of the black accents that the RS trim gives us. Now, throughout this video, we're going to take a look at all of the features this vehicle has to offer on the exterior, under the hood, in the trunk, and in the rear seats, and then all of the technology in the front seats. And in case you're wondering how this Trailblazer drives, we will be driving this particular vehicle in a separate video, in a kind of POV fashion with the GoPro strapped to my head. So if you're interested in that, you can either wait till the end of the video and I will provide a link to you for that, or you can just head over to my channel Ty Drives for more. Now, as far as the headlights go, we do have LEDs all over the place. So we have up top, we have kind of like this split headlight unit. Up top, we have the LED turn signals and daytime running lights, and down below we have this little bulb here. It's a projector bulb for your high and low beams. Again, everything is LED, very nice looking. Now in the RS trim, we have lots of blacked out accents. We kind of have this black chrome on the grille. It kind of stretches down below the lights with our black Chevy bow tie and a glossy black grille with a little RS logo. I really kind of like this little carbon fiber trim down here, carbon fiber look at least, for the trim. So it looks pretty cool on the front end. And the Trailblazer was refreshed for the 2024 model year, so it's nicely updated for 2025. Now you can see we have lots of black cladding going around the wheels and down the side to protect your Marina Blue paint. And we do have 19-inch wheels on the RS trim. Looks pretty good design with the kind of painted pockets and machine face. 245/45 is the size of the tires too. We have a completely black roof from even the A-pillars on, including our mirrors and our roof rails. So that's a nice contrast to this vehicle. We also have blind spot warning in the mirrors, as well as smart key entry on both the front door handles for lock and unlock. You just do that, press that little button right there. And we also have pretty deeply tinted glass in the back and tons of packages and options on this car. We have the panoramic roof. We also have the convenience package, the Marina Blue paint color. We also have the driver's assistance package for a total sticker price of $34,075. So lots and lots of features on this car. Our gas cap is on the driver's side, and we do have LED tail lamps back here too. So all of our tail lights, turn signals, and brake lights are all LED. Looks pretty good back here, all lit up. Now the majority of our badging back here is all blacked out too, so we have the Trailblazer all-wheel drive badging down below. We even have this kind of cool looking diffuser element down at the bottom with some real exhaust tips, which look good. Very nice for the RS trim. We have parking sensors in the back, as well as our parking camera. So we have the camera right down here and the release, as well as our RS badging. And before we go any further, I'd like to give a huge thanks to Blazius Chevrolet for providing this car for me for filming. And I wanted to ask you guys, the viewers, what do we think of the styling? Let me know in the comments. Under the hood of the Trailblazer, we actually have two different engine options. Now, the first one is a 1.2-liter turbocharged inline 3-cylinder. That's good for 137 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque. That'll come up to a CVT or continuously variable transmission, and that will be front-wheel drive only. Now, the engine we have here is the much larger 1.3-liter turbocharged inline 3-cylinder. That's good for 155 horsepower and 174 pound-feet of torque, so a bit of a power bump there. And that will come with a CVT transmission, either with front-wheel drive or a 9-speed automatic with all-wheel drive like we have here. So a little bit of a power bump for the extra all-wheel drive weight and components and things like that. And we will see how this engine performs once we get it out on the road. We'll do a little acceleration test, so make sure you check out that video. So take a look at that. This Trailblazer, thanks to the convenience package, actually has a power trunk lid, which is very hard to find in this segment of vehicles. Now, once you have it popped open, there's a nice wide opening, and it's a kind of straight-backed SUV, so that the rear of the vehicle doesn't slant down too much, so you don't really lose that much cargo space on the top end, at least. So back here, you could see that once you lift up the cargo floor, there's a little bit more space in there, but you also have a spare tire, so you could put some hidden storage back there. But we also have some cubbies in the back of the tire wells on either side too, with some lighting on the driver's side. We also have cargo tie downs towards the rear of the trunk on either side, and our seats fold down 60-40 split, which is pretty nice to get some larger cargo. Now, one cool party trick on the Trailblazer is that actually the front passenger seat also folds down flat, so that you could put kind of longer items in this car. Very, very flexible as far as cargo space goes in the Trailblazer. Now, once we're done, if you're feeling strong, you can either close the tailgate manually or just press the button. Our first glance at the interior will be of the rear seats, and we have a pretty nice styling back here, but once we get in and actually see the seats, that's where it looks good. But back here it is mostly all hard touch plastic. So up here all the way down there is hard touch plastic, but where your arm is going to rest is a little bit softer, which is where it counts. So we do have a chrome door handle, window switch, and the only option that this vehicle doesn't have is the Bose audio system. So we have this 6-speaker audio system here. If we wanted to upgrade to the Bose audio system, we'd get 7 speakers, which would bring a pretty nice sound quality to this car. We even have a little bit of storage back here, and quite nice synthetic leather seats. Now our headrest you can actually fold down for extra visibility out the rear, and we have this little latch here to fold down our seats. And as you can see, it'll fold down flat, so whatever you put in there, you could just slide nice and easy along the cargo floor. And one more thing you could fold down back here is your armrest, which has a couple of cup holders. Actually, a really good amount of space in the rear seat. So I have the front seat adjusted to a normal driving position for myself. I'm about 5'10", and still have a couple of inches of legroom behind myself. Now, you do have map pockets on the back of the driver's seat, and only the driver's seat, because you have this little kick area. So when you fold down this seat flat, you could essentially sit in the back seat here and put your feet up right here, and it won't scratch up or damage any of the leatherette seats. So pretty cool thinking from Chevrolet there. But yeah, pretty nice seats. We have some perforations on the outsides of the seats and kind of like a smooth leatherette surface on the inside. Full black headliner. We have lights, coat hooks, and grab handles. The panoramic sunroof is nice and big too. It should be. It's a pretty costly option at $1,500, but it does look pretty good back here. No air vents, but we do have a little bit of storage down below. We also have a household outlet, so a 3-prong household, a USB-C, and a regular USB output. What do you say we hop up front and check out all the tech? Okay, so the front is where all the fun starts to happen. As you can see, we have a lot nicer materials up front on the door. We even have some red accents that carry throughout the front of the interior and the dashboard. A little bit of glossy black too, your chrome door handle, lock unlock buttons. We have all of our mirror controls, window lockout for the children in the rear, and all of our regular window adjustments. You can see we have a little bit of red stitching too on the door with that pretty cool kind of trimming material. We have one more speaker on the driver's door, a bit more storage too, and this little guy right here, which will control your rear trunk. So you could just simply press it in to open it, and you can also adjust it to open a max way, a 3/4 way, or turn the power function all the way off. Now on the left of the dash, take a look at these air vents. Pretty cool looking. You kind of just slide it in to close. That's pretty neat. Red accented, also has some glossy black, so really nice looking air vents in this car. We also have a couple of other things, such as your gauge dimmer, which you can pop out and adjust. Also your headlights, and your tilt telescoping steering wheel gets released right there. We have a little storage pocket right in there for perhaps a charging cable for your phone or credit card, something like that. Our hood release and our pedals down below. Very, very nice looking seats on this RS trim. It really does get dressed up once you step it up to the RS. We have the RS logo stitched in the headrest, lots of stitching all around the seats, and you even had this little tab with the RS logo too. Very, very nice looking seats. Good attention to detail too. And they are fully powered on the driver's side with two-way lumbar. What do you say we hop out of this muggy weather and hop into the AC in this Trailblazer? All right, so here we are seated in the Trailblazer. You can see very, very nice looking dashboard. Very nice looking steering wheel too, very impressive. We'll get into that in just a minute, but you kind of have this double screen set up for your driver's information and your Apple CarPlay, all that good stuff, Chevrolet's system, and lots of kind of red accents, which kind of set this interior apart a little bit from its competition. But here goes the key. So we have a traditional Chevrolet key with the lock unlock remote start, trunk popper, and the panic alarm. You also have a little button on the side to slide out a physical key in case you need it, and the Chevrolet logo at the back. So there is a start button right behind the steering wheel right over here, and that will make the turbocharged 3-cylinder engine roar to life. Now let's take a look at this steering wheel first, because it is pretty impressive. The material use is just very nice. We have nice smooth leather right up top, and then we also have perforated leather on the side, kind of where you're going to grip. And then we have some glossy black towards the bottom, and it is a flat bottom steering wheel. So pretty cool looking steering wheel, if you ask me. And we also have the blacked out bow tie on the airbag cover. As far as functionalities go, we have all of our adaptive cruise control functionalities right over here. Your forward collision alert adjustability right there. We also have a heated steering wheel button to turn that on and off. We have voice commands, Bluetooth phone controls, and a couple of adjustment buttons and things for the screen up there. Now, behind the steering wheel, right over here in these kind of like little paddles, you have an up and down. That's for your volume. And on the other side, we have an up and down to change your presets. So pretty cool solution to kind of free up some buttons on the face of the steering wheel and kind of have them hidden out of sight and sometimes out of mind, but hopefully you'll remember they are there. Now behind the steering wheel, we have a couple of stalks for your traditional high beams, automatic high beams, and of course your turn signals. And on the other side, we have our front and rear wipers. Now let's take a look at our gauge cluster screen. Now basically what you see is what you got. So the screen kind of spans from here all the way down to here, and we have the tachometer front and center with a digital speedometer. We have our fuel gauge, and right next to it the distance till empty. Our all-wheel drive selections right there, what gear we're in right next to it. And then we also have our following distance indicator and our coolant temperature right over here. So pretty simple gauge cluster, but you know, a couple of things you can do is kind of adjust the sources, the audio sources, and your radio stations throughout that screen. But kind of what you see is what you get for views. Now up here, we do have a nice dashboard with the kind of safety alert lights that will pop up on your windshield, which is pretty cool. And that brings me down to our touchscreen. So nice and big, but very easy to get used to, and not a whole lot of functionalities to get all confused in and whatnot. So I'll give you a quick overview. We do have a volume knob, which is very nice, and this is kind of your home screen, so it'll give you kind of all of your apps and shortcuts. We do of course have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with this car, which is very cool. We have a climate tab, although there is a dedicated set of climate controls down below, but it's nice they give you that option. We also have settings, which you can go through, lots and lots of different settings to kind of customize this car the way you like it. And then our app settings. Our home button is very easy to get used to. It's right there. And then we also have our music tab, which is pretty cool. Again, SiriusXM capable. We have all of our presets down below. Tune right there, and what's playing right in the center of the screen. We also have our phone screen and kind of our vehicle status screen. So we have maintenance reminders and things like that. Oil life, tire pressures, all that good stuff. We also have a couple of different gauges which you could view, so your battery voltage and a kind of secondary coolant temperature. And then all of our trip settings are contained within this screen here. And you can also kind of send them up to the cluster, which is pretty cool. And you can do that with a couple of different screens here, so you could send that to the cluster as well. Pretty neat. And that pretty much does it for this touchscreen here. A couple of little other tidbits of information. We do have a temperature and time up there, but very simple, easy to get used to. You know, nothing more than, you know, to make it more complicated than it needs to be. We have a couple of air vents down here, and right in the center we have our hazard button. And we also have our single zone automatic climate control right down here. So 2 simple knobs for temperature and fan speed. We have where you want the air to blow right in the center. We have our automatic and AC buttons are over here and recirculating in the middle of the kind of dials. We also have our heated seat buttons right down here for the driver and passenger, and our defrosters. Now let's get the shifter out of the way so we can kind of see our phone box. We do have a wireless charging pad, which is awesome to see in this segment of vehicle. You don't usually see that too often, you know, in this class of car. And we kind of have all of our different connections. So 12 volt, USB-C, and regular USB outlet. And it's got this kind of cool, like, little, I guess, netting material, which is pretty neat on the sides, almost like a little grab handle too here. Just in front of that kind of phone pouch there, we have a little array of buttons to turn on and off your auto start stop, lane keeping assist, traction control, and also to turn on and off your all-wheel drive and your sport mode for the driving. That brings me down to our shifter, which is pretty cool looking. Little highlights in red here with a little RS logo and some red stitching. We have reverse, which will bring up our backup camera, which has a nice quality to it, and we can toggle on and off your guidance lines. We of course have our regular neutral, drive, and low mode to get it up the hills, and a manual shifting mode at the side of the shifter. We have a couple of cup holders and a nice little phone holder right there. Our electronic parking brake and a little cubby right here, maybe to put your key. Pretty useful cubby storage right there. Pretty big center armrest, and if you lift that up, there is a little bit of storage. And you can also remove this top tray to reveal even more storage, and it goes in pretty deep. On the passenger side, they have a nice bit of style, kind of that cloth material with some stitching, red accents, and even this kind of black accent with a little pattern in it. Once you open up the glove box, it's actually pretty huge. Up top, again, we have a full black headliner with our visors, which have mirrors and lights. Taking a look up top, we again have that full panoramic roof. And let's take a look at that when it's open. Lets in lots and lots of light and brightens up this darker interior. So it looks pretty good. And again, almost a $1,500 option, which is a little bit pricey in a car of this size. But at least it actually offers a panoramic roof. That's actually pretty nice. So we have buttons up here for the shade to close or open, and also the button up here to either tilt or slide the sunroof itself. We also have some tap lights up here for your reading lights, some more lighting controls, your OnStar and SOS buttons, and you can't forget our auto dimming mirror. And take a look at that. Not too bad as far as rear visibility goes. The mirror fills up the rear. There's a little bit of blind spots here towards the very rear pillars of the vehicle, so right over here. But that is what the blind spot warning is here to help you out for. And that pretty much does it for all the features on the 2025 Chevrolet Trailblazer RS. Let's get this thing out on the road. Make sure you check out that video for our test drive. But I wanted to thank each and every one of you for watching this particular video, and make sure you catch us for the test drive.